It should be able to be loaded into existing infrastructure that the school has. So most schools might have already some softwares that are already loaded. You need to know the lay of the land so that you can insert into their existing landscape. The next thing you need to look at is how is this software going to be used? My lesson planning tool, is it going to be used only by teacher or it's going to be used by even supervisors, HMs and others? Is there some case where these needs to be sent to parents? So you need to think about it because different teachers in different environments might have a different way of looking as to how they use their planning tools for every lesson that they teach in a given class. Now when we talk about all of this, you have to also look at what are your key partners. So when you build a solution and you said this is meant for teachers, I had to figure out with whom will I be able to go into these schools. I have to quantify and qualify as to what schools am I going after. Is it the government schools? Is it the international schools? Is it CBSE schools? ICSE? There are many ways to slice and dice it. The reason you need to know all of this, know your customer. You need to know how you're going to target your product or a service based on how it's going to be used and what is the time frame available and what is the pain point. Because the main thing you also need to see is, will this affect their current workflow? And if it affects, is it offering the level of benefit that makes the person want to pay for it? It's a good question. The next thing that you need to consider is, what are your revenue streams that can come out of this particular product or a service? You need to think about, is it going to be a subscription based model, which is more and more getting common? Or is it going to be a one-time pay kind of a thing? Or is it going to be something where I charge only for some infrastructure, let's say laptops and all have to be given, and then I don't charge for software, it's a value-added thing. There are various different revenue streams that can be worked out. It can also be course completion based. Especially these days in schools, there is this concept of incentives. So if you see that the customer is completing the product usage, you return an amount back to the customer for completion. So these all incentives are all revenue generation plans as well as customer retention plans, looking at how to take your product into the marketplace for it to be adopted. So once you have thought about all of these things, please write them down as a part of a lean canvas. I have included a link to the lean canvas as a part of this video, and you're going to be able to put in all your inputs with respect to your product or service that you're going to design for your customers. So once you have identified this entire landscape of what makes your venture, you should go and start doing market research. Find out who else is offering this kind of a service in the market. You have to see what product or service you're offering. How is it different or same as compared to other products or services in the marketplace? While doing a comparison, you have to look at pricing, placement, availability, usage. This will define whether your product gets picked up from the marketplace. The other question is, when you're first starting out, you need an early adopter. So frequently as an early adopter, you might have to go about looking to give your product as a beta product. So generally, when you're starting up your entrepreneurship venture and thinking of taking things up, the first thing you do is to come up with a MVP, which is basically basic value proposition that will be provided to your customer for which they are willing to pay. You might have to go through a couple of different iterations. Just because you put something and somebody said that there was a problem that you take to them that they're going to buy it, mostly doesn't work. When you come back to them, that's when they realize that, oh, that problem was not that big of a problem, but there is some other problem that was a bigger problem. So you have to keep talking to more people to figure out whether this problem is worth solving or what needs to change. This may take some time. We need to do it on a continuous basis. But once somebody picks up your product and wants to use it, regardless of the initial price that they're willing to pay for it, you know that it is useful, that it is solving a given problem, something that somebody is willing to pay some money for. That's when you say, that you got your initial validation for the product that you want to build. So now at this stage, what would you be doing next? You will look at building a team, having a co-founder, having somebody to work with you in order to take your product to the market. The next thing here is also raising money. When you have come up with a product, a viable solution that somebody is willing to pay for, but if you have to make it come into the market in a large scale, you need to have some level of support in terms of funding and people. So when you are going to select your team, co-founders, just make sure you are looking at people who have skills complementary to your current skills.